Hi everybody, it's a beautiful early evening in New Mexico. Our temperatures are in the 70s right now. We've been mostly overcast all day, but the sun is shining, as you can see. But the temperatures feel so nice. So I'm out here in my vegetable garden, and specifically in the herb section of my garden, because I'm going to make some pesto. So I have this wonderful basil plant that I've been picking from all summer long, and I'm going to pick enough that I can make some pesto and eat it fresh and freeze it, and I'll show you what I do to freeze it. The other thing I do, if you don't know about this, if you don't have enough basil, you can use parsley, which is very good for you. You can use carrot tops. Also, I actually mix carrot tops, basil, and parsley a lot in my pestos. So I get lots of different greens. And you can see I have already started picking some, but I'm going to pick some more, and I want to show you what I do. What I do, and this will help you to encourage the plant to get bushier and fuller. You can see I've already trimmed some. There's one right there that I trimmed a while ago. And what it does is it starts growing out to the sides of where you trim it. Same thing there, that's kind of a newer one, so you can see it's getting new leaves out to the side. So throughout the summer, it's good, even if you don't want to eat it right away, pick it. If you're not gonna make pesto, just go ahead and trim it. Show you this one right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down a ways. This is parsley that's kind of growing in there, but I'm gonna go down a ways to the next set of leaves right here, and I'm going to trim it. And then what you'll see happen eventually is that will start growing, and it's already doing it, but it will start growing more leaves out to the side, just like that one, and just like I showed you on this one right here. So it's really good and healthy for your basil plant to be trimming it and pinching some of the leaves. Now the other thing I do, and I don't have any right now, but if it starts to get the flowers on it, and they start out green, but you can tell what they are when you see them, and I wish I had one, but I pinch those, because when it starts to flower, that's not what you want. It will change the flavor of your basil. It'll start getting a little bitter. So you just want to pinch those as soon as you see them. Don't let them grow, and don't let them get to that white flower point. So I'm going to keep cutting some of these and getting a bigger basket full. Now, as I said, I also add parsley to mine at times, and I'm going to do that today. I'm not going to add carrots because I don't have any carrots ready to pull, so I'm not going to take the greens off of them. They need that to soak up the energy into the carrot or the root that's underground. But I am going to pick some of this parsley. Just cut it as low as you can cut it to get as much as you can. And if you don't grow parsley, but you like to cook with parsley, or you haven't tried parsley, you should grow it, especially if you have lots of room, because it does reseed itself and it comes back. I haven't had to plant parsley in a long time, but I just saw something so cool I've got to share with you. Let me put my parsley in my bin. Do you see that? That is a caterpillar that is most likely going to turn into a monarch butterfly, because monarchs love parsley. So I want to keep an eye on that one. Now we're going to go back inside with our full basket of basil and parsley, and we're going to make some pesto. You want to make sure that you rinse your basil and your parsley really well to get any kind of dirt or bugs off of it. Now I'm going to take that rinsed basil and parsley and I'm going to blot it with a towel. We don't want it to be soaking wet. It doesn't have to be completely dry, but we don't want it soaking wet. The next thing I'm going to do is go through all of these leaves, remove them from the stems, and pull off any that are brown or chewed on that aren't something I want to go into my pesto. You can see I brought in a worm, what we used to call little inchworms. So I'm making a big batch of this basil pesto. My recipe calls for 2 cups of fresh basil washed and blotted dry, and I will put all of this in the description. It also calls for 2 cloves of garlic, a half a cup of pine nuts, and just so you know, here's a secret. You don't have to use pine nuts. You can use walnuts. There's many times that I don't have pine nuts and I just use walnuts. And it tastes just as good, and honestly, I can't really taste the difference. And lastly, we add a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Now stir in a half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. So here's now what it looks like with the cheese in it. All I do is to get some, I save glass jars and I save small ones. Make sure they're a nice, good quality glass jar. They're thick, they're not real thin. And I put my pesto in these jars, put the lid on, and stick it in the freezer. And I have had no issues with the glass breaking in the freezer. I've had no issues at all with it, and it tastes fresh and delicious when I take it out of the freezer, thaw it, and use it with hot pasta. It does really well because it melts in with hot pasta and just tastes wonderful. And here's what my pesto looks like after being in the freezer for about an hour. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.